Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I hope everybody's having a good day and has had a good day so far. As always with Saturdays, we got a big slate, but a big slate doesn't always mean a lot of picks, but I actually think I found a good amount of picks for both player props and money lines. So obviously, as always, quality over quantity, and if I do have any added plays, which not sure if I will because I will be busy tomorrow, they would be in this video in the pinned comments. Could be later tonight, could be tomorrow, I'm not sure. Again, just keep an eye out for those if you are interested in those, but other than that, I'll just get straight into the plays. The first player prop that I found that I like, I believe this one is on Underdog. I believe all these plays actually right now are on Underdog because PrizePicks does not have a lot of lines out. But this one is Antonio Raillo to go higher than 0.5 shots at home for Mallorca going up against Leganés. First of all, he averages 1.01 shots per 90, so he averages one. We just need him to take one. And normally, I don't take center backs that won't take long shots because just because they're not as versatile. But I just really like this matchup. I've actually taken him before. I remember taking him months ago, but I'm taking him again. He came through that time. I believe he comes through this time. He gets his shot from set pieces, and I mentioned it's a great matchup because first of all, Leganés do not play possession, which correlates to the reason why they on average allow 7.53 corners away to opponents. He went over in the first game when they played away from home from a corner. The shot came from a corner, and Mallorca only had 3 corners in that game. And from those 3, he was able to get to the back of one of them. And now I believe they should be getting more corner kicks in general and more chances for him. Besides, Leganés in general fouled the 6th most to opponents, and they tend to do it in bad places. For example, Leganés have conceded the 3rd most penalties. So whether it's corners or they could get him from free kicks because they foul a lot, that's just more opportunities for him to get those shots. And also, surprisingly, Mallorca are only 5 points behind top 6. So this is a great game for them to push and try to get those points. He's gone over this mark in 10 out of 14 games at home, 71% hit rate. And if you look at the games that he went under against Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, 3 of the best teams in the league. And then the 4th one that he went under was against Palmas, but they only took 3 corners in that game. So he's gone under against great defenses, and the one time it wasn't a great defense. They barely had any corners, but I believe they will get corners here. Like, and they allow a lot of them on the shots. It's a good line at home, great matchup. So I like this. I like Antonio Raillo to go higher than 0.5 shots. The next player prop that I found that I like is Lorenzo Pellegrini to go higher than 1.5 shots at home for Roma going up against Hellas Verona. He's averaged 2.19 shots per 90 so far, and Roma are 2 points behind 6th and 3 points behind 5th. So it's a good matchup in general for Roma to shoot and try to attack against them. Besides, they're playing against Verona, who is the worst defense in the league. They've allowed the most goals, and they actually allowed the 7th most shots to opponents at 13.9, and they go from allowing 12.3 at home all the way up to 15.6 away, which is where they're playing now away from home. They do not play position, and they allow long shots, which is good for us because first of all, he will take free kicks because Dybala is out, and Verona fouled the most in the league in general. So they're gonna have. I believe Roma will have at least one free kick opportunity, and if they do, he will be the one taking them. And I mentioned him; he's been taking them since Dybala has been out. And without Dybala, he's played 6 games. He's gone over in 4 out of 6 games without him. And the 2 games that he didn't go over were away from home. Now he's playing at home. He went over in the first game away from home with 2, and I just think it's a good line at home. Another good matchup, and I like this line. I like Lorenzo Pellegrini to a higher than 1.5 shots. The last player prop that I found that I like, again, this one is also on Underdog, and that's Vincenzo Grifo to go higher than 1.5 shots at home for Freiburg, going up against Hoffenheim. It is slightly juiced, but I still believe, honestly, it's not juiced enough. I like the odds here. He averages 2.63 shots per 90, and he went over this prop with 2 in the first game. With only 30 minutes, he played off the bench, and in just 30 minutes, he went over away. Now he's playing at home. He has a good history against them regardless. In 2 games against them last season, home and away, he went over this prop in both games. 3 at home, 2 away, now at home. He's gone over in 9 out of 12 starts that he's played at home. That's a 75% hit rate, and Hoffenheim on average allowed the 5th most shots to opponents at 14.6. And Hoffenheim also fouled the 6th most and also tend to do it in dangerous areas, which is good for us because Freiburg, when it comes to Freiburg, Grifo is the one that takes the free kicks and he takes the penalties. He has shot 3 out of the 4 penalties that Freiburg has had this season, and I believe the one he didn't take, he just wasn't on the field. and he's also a long shot taker. With the free kicks, he has taken 31 from inside the box and 29 from outside the box. So half of his shots are from outside the box. They're fighting to keep 6th place, and they could go up to 5th or 4th potentially, depending on other games. And at the end of the day, it's at home, another good matchup. Teams that are playing for stuff, I like taking these games. I like Vincenzo Grifo to go higher than 1.5 shots. Before I get into the money line plays, as always, I would really appreciate it if everybody liked the video, commented as always. It helps boost the video out to more people. I read all the comments whenever I can. I really do appreciate all you guys' support. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Turn on notifications so you're notified when these videos are out. You can also get notified if you join my Discord, which is not a premium. It is completely free. You're more than welcome to join a good community I'm trying to build, where you can talk about your plays, other plays, during the games, other sports. Again, link for that in the description. And if you want to support the channel just a little more and get the videos out even earlier than what you usually would, you can join the membership linked in the description. That's the only form of premium that I sell, but it's not like I provide extra picks. It's just if you get the videos out even earlier than what you usually would, and again, it's just a good way to support the channel. And all my links for everything else, whether it's Outlier, whether it's the player prop apps and money lines that I play, all linked in the description. So I really want to thank anybody who supports me in any way. I actually have 2 money line slips for today. This one would be the ladder challenge play if you want to take it, but again, it's up to you whether you want to follow it or not. I just do it for fun. But this one is a -118 slip, and I believe -122, and that's Man City to win or draw away from home going up against Everton. I just don't see them losing this game. They're undefeated in their last 5. They're only in top 5. They're in the 5th place spot, which is the Champions League spot, by 1 point, so they really can't afford to drop any points in general. I was thinking about just taking their money line, but I'd rather just play it safe by taking them to not lose. And despite the injuries that City have had, they've had them all season in general, they still have the much better team in my opinion compared to Everton. Everton have nothing to play for no more. They're safe from relegation. They're very, very, very likely not going to get a top spot unless they somehow win every single game. So in general, they have nothing to play for. They have only scored, they haven't scored more than 1 goal in 6 straight games, and City can easily score 2 in this game. City can easily score 1 to keep up with Everton, and I don't see either 1, Everton scoring more than 1, or 2, City not scoring more than 1. And besides, Everton in general are a below average team when it comes to how many shots they convert. On average, they have converted 30% of the shots on target that they've taken, and City have a good morale boost after winning 5-2 last game against Palace. And Everton just don't play possession. They struggle against killers, and they have to play players like Marmoush, Doku, and Savinho. I just trust that they'll at least get a draw here, so like Man City to win or draw going up against Everton. And the second play for this slip is lower than 0.5 first half Celta Vigo goals going up against Barcelona. This is just Celta Vigo will not score in the first half. They're playing Barcelona, who have the 2nd best home defense. They've only conceded 11 goals in 15 games, and they have only conceded 3 of those 11 in the first half, and they go from conceding 3 in the first to 8 in the second. And Celta away from home have scored 8 goals in the first half up to 11 in the second half in 15 games. So Barca are first of all less likely to concede in the first half, and Celta is less likely to score in the first half, which is just good for us. And Celta did manage to score 2 goals in the first game when they played at home, but it only happened after Barcelona got a red card, and they scored both of those goals pretty much right after, and that was in the second half. So before that red card and in the first half, Celta was struggling and they couldn't score. And besides, Barcelona are still first place in the league by only 4 points, so they can't afford to drop any points in defense. Obviously, it's one of the big reasons why they've been doing great this season, not just their offense. And Celta were scoreless in the last game at home against Espanyol, who's a bottom 5 away side. Besides, Barcelona were also able to rest some players in that Dortmund game because they were pretty much already through with Pedri and Inigo. So they still have the much better team, and I think they can shut out Celta at least in the first half. So I lowered the 0.5 first half Celta Vigo goals going up against Barcelona, and I like this slip for -122. This second slip, this one is for -132 in the first place in the German Bundesliga, and that's Freiburg to win or draw at home going up against Hoffenheim. Both teams, if you look at their forms, home compared to away, Freiburg go from scoring 14 and conceding 26 away up to scoring 26 and conceding 19. So their offense and defense all pretty much flips. They're much better in the attack when they play at home. And Hoffenheim go from scoring 23 goals and conceding 29 away up to only scoring 13 goals and conceding 23 in 14 games. So mainly because Freiburg's attack boosts in at home, and Hoffenheim's offense really is bad when they've played away from home. And besides, Hoffenheim have only won 3 out of 14 games that they've played away from home. So opponents that have played them at home have a 79% hit rate. This prop has hit 11 out of 14 games for opponents. And Freiburg is currently 6th, which is the Conference League spot, but they're only 1 point below 5th, which would give them the Europa League spot, and 2 points behind 4th, which would give them a Champions League spot. So at home, in my opinion, this is probably the best game that Freiburg have left in general. They need to take advantage of this matchup. When I mentioned this is the best game that they have left, the games after this, they have to play Wolfsburg away from home. They have to play Leverkusen at home. They have to play Kiel, which is a good matchup, but they play them away from home, in which I mentioned that their offense and defense drops. And they play Frankfurt at home. So their home games that they have left are against horrible matchups. And then the away games that they have to play obviously away from home. And I just feel like they get these points at home. They're playing Hoffenheim, who allow the 5th most shots to opponents. Hoffenheim is not clinical, only converting 27% of the shots on target that they've taken, and they can't defend through balls, and perfect for Freiburg, who like to attack through the middle of the pitch so they can get those through balls. And this prop has hit in 7 games straight when they've played against each other, going back to 2022, so they have a good record against them. So I just like the matchup at home. They're fighting for something more than Hoffenheim is, and I just don't see them losing at home against them. So like Freiburg to win or draw going up against Hoffenheim. And the second play for this slip is in the Serie A in Italy, and that's Napoli to score 2 goals or more, obviously, going up against Monza. They're playing a side that's pretty much relegated. It's technically not official yet, but they're way behind. Their last place. They're pretty much relegated at this point. They have the second worst defense in the league, and they're in really bad form, losing the last 8 out of 10 games. And in the last 7, they've conceded 2+ and 5 out of the last 7 games. And Napoli, on the other hand, have a fully healthy attack. They pretty much have a fully healthy squad in general, and they're a clinical side, converting 40% of the shots on target that they've taken. And this is great against a team who, on average, allows the second most shots to opponents. They're already a clinical side, and now they're playing a team that will give them a lot of shots. That's just perfect for them. They're currently in 2nd place in the league, 3 points behind 1st, so they need to take advantage of this matchup. And this prop hit in the first game. They scored 2 goals in the first game, and they play with through balls and play on the wings, and Monza can't defend them. If you look at, for example, Napoli to win, if you get just the 2 goals to score, I believe it's like -2 something, -230 something. But for Napoli to win, it's like a -400 something. So I just think you're getting better odds here, much better odds. The only way obviously this hit doesn't hit is if Napoli wins 1-0 or something like that. But I see Napoli scoring 2 against this defense. I like this play. I like higher than 1.5 Napoli goals going up against Monza, and I like this slip for -132. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly going over the last video's picks. As always, I'm wearing the robe because we swept the player props. It was a 2-0 day. We had Samba to go under 3 saves. That one was an easy one. He didn't even get 1. And then Omar to get 2 tackles. I believe he didn't have any in the first half, but he came through. And I said in the video, if his line comes out at 2.5, his normal line, take it. And his 2.5 line hit as well. He ended with 3. So if you took his normal line, you can count that 3-0 if you want to. But obviously it's not. It's 2-0. But we still did good in that. And the ladder challenge, unfortunately, Rennes came through for us. That game was in the afternoon. That was an easy game for them. But Derby County lost to Luton and weren't even able to score. They lost 1-0. Conceded early on and just couldn't score a goal, which was very unfortunate. Derby County did have injuries, which I did keep into account, but I still didn't see them losing at home against Luton Town, who was one of, if not the worst away team. So that was unfortunate for us, but hopefully we can come through tomorrow. We did great with the player props. I like this. We have a big slate tomorrow, so fingers crossed we do great tomorrow. I like my plays as always. I'm never going to give any picks that I'm not confident in. As always, like I mentioned, if I do have any other plays, it will be in the pinned comment. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.